Yo, what's good, man? So you can see, look, your boy had a great day today. $1,200 made today. The team ate great, of course, on the live calls. Just called signals all day, smacking signals over the head. Just been an all-around great day, all right? So I'm done trading for today. But I do want to just go over stuff that's going to help you out be more successful. Now, I ain't going to lie. Like, ever since I've been just trading straight Forex pairs without OTC as much, I've been eating a lot more. I used to eat really good on OTC, but every time they do an update or something, I just feel like it ain't the same it used to be. Cause I grew a count from 700, to 10,000 on OTC, but it's like very hard to do now. You know what I'm saying? Cause I just feel like each time that you figure out something new, they come and smack you over the head with an update and mess the whole algorithm up. So, but so I'm gonna mark up these charts right here on the H1. All right, I'm just gonna use a pair. I'm not gonna enter no more trades right now, but I just want to kind of mark up stuff, right? So people was asking me all the time, like, yo, how do you know where to mark your chart up at? Let me get my little draw tool. So of course, you always want to mark your chart up at places that look like it stopped and went the opposite direction. All right. Now, again, you don't have to do a whole bunch of these if you don't want, you know what I'm saying? But I mark mine up pretty good. I see something that stopped there, went this way. I know that's a zone. I know this is a zone. Anywhere we stopped and turned around. So I mark those up first in the mornings, of course, before I do my calls. So I'll just continue to mark just so I can kind of show y'all where we at. And if you want to know if you got a really good zone, a good way to find out is just to look to the left to see if it touched before in that area, touched again. That's how you know it's a really strong zone. So boom, you go from there. After you mark these up, you go to the N15 and you do the same thing. All right, boom. But see, already off the N15, if I want to do a 15-minute trade, I already see we got to bounce off the H1. We headed down. We're in a downtrend, potentially could push down for 15 minutes if I want to do a long-term trade. Kind of how I did over here. All right, but that's a play I can already see based off how I marked up my chart. Already touching, stochastic is high, boom. You know what I'm saying? But then I come to the N15, you can either use the horizontal lines or you could use the rectangles. I just use rectangles right now since I'm already there. All right, and I'm putting this here. I'm marking this zone up right here because of these candles. These candles stopped, they touched, they stopped, rejected, and went the opposite way. So that's why we put that there. It bounced off of it, and that's how we know that's a zone. So I do need to change this color to this. Boom. All right, so now that lets me know that's N15. H1 is green, N15 is this color. Whatever color you want to do yours, you know what I mean? I do see we stopped here and went up. So guess what? I duplicate that, and I put another zone right there. I just zone my chart all the way out because I want to catch every bounce. Now, I know for a fact that these M15s and these H1s are very strong zones. So usually once we get to that, we know we're going to get a bounce. Now go to the M1. Boom. Now your chart is marked up. Couple things you can notice. This is a full uptrend, right? Full uptrend. So we know we're looking for buys. How do we know it's an uptrend? Because of this right here. You see this line right here? Oh, let me turn something off right quick. It's boinging on me. All right, so how do we notice the 200 moving average? Because it's the 200 moving average. All right, how do we know it's an uptrend? I mean, it's because it's the 200 moving average right here, this line. So anytime the candles are above it, uptrend. If they're down here, the candles are down here, downtrend for the most part. All right, so since we know we're in a certified uptrend, all right, now we see the zone, it just rejected off of the H1 up here. We rejected, we headed down to this N15. So where do you think we will buy? Anywhere between now and this N15 zone. Simple as that. That's how you know. It's just that simple. Boom, buy. We're already on the uptrend. Then you want to look at the Keltner channel. On this Keltner channel, you got the top of the Keltner, middle, bottom, right? So now we need to know, okay, where does the candles usually go? So for a while, we were sticking to the top of the Keltner, right? Then we have times where we come below the middle of the Keltner right here and not touch the bottom. Now it looks like we're starting to head close to the bottom, right? But we already got the zigzag this way, so we know we should be getting a bounce here pretty soon. Boom. Now a couple things you can look for is watch this stochastic, see if it touches this 6 line down here. We know the buy is coming. And then also you can watch these signals. Whenever you got double arrows up, right? You see how I got double arrow down right now? If you ever look at these signals and this one, this one, this one, this one are all double green and you're on the uptrend and this is low, automatic buys, we in there. Okay? So now you got your points. Now, if you want to know like 4 entry rule wise, like if you got to use the 4 entry rule, you say, okay, my first buy here, second buy here. And the reason why it's here is because I see rejection here. And it rejected and went up before here. Second, your third, probably right here. Let me draw that line over. Third, and then if you had to do a fourth, probably right in this area. This would be your fourth. So now you got all 4 trades. First entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry. And boom. It's all still above the 200, but you see we already got the buy right here. So if you would have did a good, 1 minute trade, probably would have got that at the bottom. See what I'm saying? So good to know. But now we know. So that's how you mark your chart up, and that's how you know exactly where to enter each time you trade, so that way you ain't confused. All right? It only take a little bit of time to mark it up, and then you in that thing. Another thing to note is that the middle of this Keltner channel with this white line, you see the good buy I just did? The middle of this Keltner channel is a 20 moving average. If you know anything about the 20 moving average and this 200 moving average, them together is a dynamic duo. All right? So the 20 moving average usually carries the candles. That's why the Keltner is so powerful. It carries it. So usually when it's above it and it's an uptrend, once it gets above that 20, it usually carries it for a while and continues to carry it up. Right? And also, if you ever see these candles get outside of this, where the top of this Keltner is, you see the candles start coming out here. Let me move this out the way. You see the candles start coming out here outside the Keltner. They start, getting way outside the Keltner. They have to come back and at least touch this part of the Keltner or come back to this moving average, this 20 moving average in the middle. It has to come back to one of these because they cannot go too far outside of the Keltner channel. The candles cannot go too far outside of here before they have to turn around and come back and touch it, right? So you can see it. You can see it here. We came outside the Keltner channel right here. Here's the Keltner channel. We came outside of it with these candles, boom, and it had to come right back in and touch the bottom of the Keltner. All right, so that's that. Now, will anybody be able to tell me, as if we're on a Zoom call, why did this drop? We did go up. We got our push, and then it came back down. Why did it drop? Because it hit a zone. Boom. This is the zone that we hit right here. Boom. All right, or the top of this one. Either way. So as long as you got, I don't think I marked up no M1 zones yet. But since we are on the M1, I usually mark up M1 zones too. So that way you can kind of see. But let's say I put this here. Boom, about right at the top of there. Sell. Okay. Right. But since it is an uptrend, you may not want to, sell on an uptrend unless you're experienced, because it can get a little ugly. But if you just want to trade with the trend, that'll be your best results. You know what I'm saying? So again, recap. Start from the H1, go to the M15, then go to the M1, place your entries on the M1. Lately, I've been doing a lot of 1 to 2 minute trades, so, been smacking the market over the head. But now I'm going to go to a different pair just to show you that it all works the same. Uh-oh, what we looking like right here? I'm trying to move this out of the way so I can see. Bingo, this is exactly what we was talking about. Perfect example of what we was talking about. They're outside the Keltner. So now we know, okay, well, it has to come back here eventually, or here. All right. Now, usually what happens when this happens, when it start pushing, I usually go here up and try to find a zone But if you just like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna miss it, into your first trade, then go look for a zone, just in case you don't miss it. You know what I mean? But I usually like to go to like the M15, and even the M15 is outside the Keltner, so you know that drop about to be mean, right? But sometimes I try to zoom out. Let me just go over here, because they ain't trying to let me zoom all the way out how I normally do. But I go out here, and I try to find a zone. But if I can't find it on there, I got to go to the H1. And even the H1 is outside the Keltner. So we know that drop going to be mean when it finally drop. But I just got to find a zone that it's hitting at. So I'm looking. I'm searching. I don't find it. I got to go to the H4. You might be like, dang, you about to miss the entry. Probably will, and that's fine. But like I said, if you just feel like you're going to miss it, then, you know, and maybe it ain't got no other zone that it's hitting to. Maybe it's just pushing to infinity right now, and it ain't got nothing to bounce off of. But usually it has something to bounce off of. So now I'm way up here to the daily chart. Usually by now I've been seeing something, but this thing look like it's making new highs. So I'm zooming all the way out. Bingo. Now there we go. So I had to come all the way to this daily chart to see this, where the market is at currently. You see this line right here? This gray line right here? That's where the market is currently at. So I just followed that over here. And now I can see where the market is currently at, right? It ain't quite to the top of this zone, but it may not even push that far up. But it is currently here. So what I usually do is, I usually put a zone to where the market is currently at now. I see this little zone right here. So I'll use this candle right here as a reference. We stopped, turned around, so I'll use that little zone. And then I'll just use the top of this one. Boom. All right, and then I'll go back to the, then I'll go back to the M1 and look for entry if I didn't already miss it, which I probably did. Boom. So I did miss some of it. But remember, I told you it has to come back. Boom. But if you already sold because you thought you was going to miss it, you would already made your money. But this happens to me a lot on the call. They'll catch it, and then I'll mark it up for them. Basically, they'll catch it, then I won't. You know what I'm saying? Because I just waited too long. But that's fine. But yeah, so boom, rule of thumb. Came right back, just like I told you, it has to. And then if it wants to go any further, it'll come down here, which I think eventually it may come on down again, unless it wants to finally make a new high and then come back down. But it's going to eventually come back down to the middle of this Keltner because that was it the M5 or the M15 was high? Yeah, so all that's pretty high. So eventually it's going to have to make its way, turn around. The stochastic is high on the M15 and all that. So you probably got another 1 minute trade on that. I need to be done, so I'm about to play around with this on the demo. Because I low-key would just get in there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna play around with this on the demo and see if I can catch a 1 minute. Even though it's a late entry, let's see if it'll play out for 1 minute. Because this is a late entry. The best entry is always gonna be at the top, y'all. Always up here. It's always gonna be your best results. Now, again, I am trading against the trend on the M1. The trend is an uptrend, of course. So I am trading against the trend. So, I know that the sell won't last that long before it decides to shoot up again like it just did. So, things to note. But you can still for entry rule this. I'll double up on this one. Only because that M15 is so high that I feel like eventually we're going to go ahead and come on down. Don't know exactly when, but it could be now. So we're going to double up on that particular trade, see if we can catch that. You feel me? This is what it's all about. Yo, so I had to just basically speed it up, pause it, speed it up so you can see the end result. But 4, 3, 2, 1, bingo. You know what I'm saying? So we did get the trade. Boom. So it played out perfect. You know what I mean? You didn't get the first entry, you go ahead and grab that next entry. But yeah, so that's how you can read your charts better. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can look at stuff. But now what do we notice here on this Keltner channel? The candles usually never come down to the bottom of this Keltner right here. Not saying they won't, but the pattern is showing, hey, we should be getting a bounce back up around in here somewhere. Potentially. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind as well. Still an uptrend. And, you know, if it does start coming down here, as long as it doesn't pass this 200, it's still going to go back up. Right? So that's when you start marking your zones. If it starts coming below the middle of this Keltner channel, right, the candles start coming below here, that's when you got to start marking your zones up now. So now I have to mark up this zone. I got to go down here, you know, mark up, you know, this one because I see it touched and turned around here. I see we touched here and turned around here. So then you find your entries back up like that. All right. But yeah, so hopefully this video helped you, man. Like I say, today was a great day for your boy. As you can see, $1,200. Man, it's been a great week. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said though, man, just make sure y'all take your time in these markets. Don't rush it. You know, just get the skill down pat. Once you get the skill down pat, it's gonna be night and day. You'll be able to flip accounts like nobody's business. You'll be living how you want. You'll be doing what you want. And it's gonna be a great feeling. I pray that over y'all every day, man. So Lord willing, I'll see y'all in another video. Holla at your boy. Let's get it.